lot of options here. Customer ratings, offers, discounts, hard disk capacity, memory, technology, processor names. So many relations are there. Such types of relations, so much complex relations, so are not possible to handle by this MongoDB-like databases. That is the reason for such large scale data analysis and reporting and filtering. So MongoDB doesn't fit very well. But for if it is even, that means don't think that large scale, I'm talking about large scale. I'm not talking about large companies. Netflix also is very large, right? But the point is they don't need much complex filters. They don't need much complex relational data. They need simple. So that is in such cases. So we need a database which can handle this, So that is for that MongoDB-like options are okay. MongoDB-like options are good. So however, so the other databases, so we are not discussing here. That's not under our concept. So how we can create database, work with the database through this Mongo, we will see. Means how we can manage the data, how we can interact with the data, that we will see. So some advantages and some drawbacks. So for MongoDB. So in various small scale applications, wherever we want, we can use this MongoDB as database. So first step, how to install it, what do you need to install, how to work with it. Let's see these points. So let's see how we can manage with that. So first you have to install MongoDB on your computer. So I will upload the step-by-step documentation. You see here, you have to visit the MongoDB official website, mongodb.com. So as I already told you, Mongo is a cloud service. It's a cloud service. So a lot of things will be there inside it. So here we go to software, because cloud we need to buy. It's not free. You have to purchase. So here you go to software. In the software, select community server. So this community server only free for you. Others are paid. You have to purchase them. They are not free. Free trails are available, but not free. So the community server is enough for you. You have to select this community server in MongoDB community server, and you can download the community server. The current version, it is 5.0.1. Early versions we have 4. So this is the latest one. You can download it. So you have the platform. So for which platform you can download? Is it for Windows or Linux or Ubuntu or SUSE? So any Mac. So you don't download the zip file, download the MSI. You know that already. And download this version. And it is downloading that. So we are downloading that. It's a very huge, you need to download everything here. So once this is downloaded on your machine, you have to install it. I already have 4 version. I will show you this new version, whatever the release happened. So you need to download the MongoDB community server. And it is downloaded. Let's open the installed file. And it is a setup file. It will just launch the setup file. So you have this MongoDB. 5.1. Just go to the next step. Accept the terms. Next step. So select complete. So it will install all of the features. And it is asking network service user or local domain. Network service is enough for us. Local domain requires so ID, passwords for your websites. We don't need that. For cloud, that is okay. Here we have just first one. Don't change any selection, just continue. Now it is downloading and installing this. Now, once the MongoDB is installed, actually, MongoDB will install two types of environments for you. MongoDB will install CLI and GUI also. CLI is command line tool. Command line tool. Command line tool, here we have to work with database and queries using command line. So commands, we have to use command line commands. That means if I want to, those commands I will tell you. If I want to create a database, that means use database name like this. We need to write the commands like this. In GUI tool, it is graphical user interface. GUI tool, it is called as MongoDB Compass. So MongoDB Compass, it is called as Compass. This GUI tool, so it provides a graphical interface. So without using much commands, so you can manage database. That means graphically everything is present. You have to just add, remove, and modify that. It's very simple. So yes. So it will give you both of them, the command line and the graphical interface. The options will be available for you. So the graphical interface required for MongoDB is this MongoDB Compass. Because you selected complete, automatically MongoDB Compass also will be added for you. You can see it is saying installing MongoDB Compass. It is installing MongoDB Compass also for you. That Compass is a command line graphical interface tool. So that without remembering much commands, without using much commands, you can manage your database easily. And for us, it will not take much time to understand and work with this database. Why? Because everything related to database, you can simply manage very easily because you are already good at JavaScript. If you are already good at JavaScript, it will not take much time to understand and deal with this database. People who are new, then it will take time. At corporate level, so MongoDB, we train developers MongoDB just 2 days. Only 2 days MongoDB finish. That's enough actually for developers. In corporate level, when we train people in the companies on this database like MongoDB, so already they are developers, they know all basic technologies, JavaScript and all. We will just conduct a weekend session actually. In that weekend session, we deliver MongoDB. That means just in 2 days, MongoDB finished. That's enough actually for MongoDB. For people who are new, They don't know anything related to JavaScript queries and all. So in that case, they have to take some time. Yeah. Right. So generally, once the database is installed, now we need actually, when database is installed, you will get two options. Actually, every database will have a server and a client tool. We will have a server and client tools. Actually, once database is installed, whether it may be Oracle or MySQL or anywhere, it will install two things. One is server, another one is client. So it will install two tools, server and client tool. In this database server and database client. Database server is the location where actually your data is stored. That means your data is present and data is stored in the database server. This is the location. This is the location. So that means the data is stored in the database server. It is stored here. It is stored here. So now we will not directly work here. What we do is a client platform is provided to us. From the client platform, we connect to this server. We connect to that server. And we access the data from there. We access the data from there. And we use it here. We access and use the data here. That means querying, manipulations, everything. So manipulations, all these things will happen in the client tool only. So when you installed any database, it will give you both tools, the client tool and the server. So you can see MongoDB Compass is being installed, and it is launching that MongoDB Compass. I will show you without Compass also how to work with that, because Compass is a graphical tool which is very easy for us to handle the database without remembering much queries and writing them. But as a developer, you should know both approaches. Now you can see in the backend, it is opening the MongoDB Compass, which is the tool for managing. Okay, done. So let's finish. Now you see in the background, this is loading. It's a free open source. Huh? You don't need any licensing or anything. Huh? Now, how it is going to work, we will see. This is your MongoDB Compass. We will come back to this Compass later. So let's close this. So MongoDB is installed. Now we need to first, after installing MongoDB, we need to first start the server. Start server. You have to first start this server. We need to check whether server is started or not, because sometimes these servers are not automatically running. These servers are not automatically running. So these are paused. So they stopped manually, they are stopped actually. We have to manually start them. So where to check whether the server is working, started or not? You have to open your Windows services, services.msc. You have to run services.msc. It will open your Windows services. This is the basic Windows services. It will open your Windows services. Yeah, this is Windows services. In these Windows services, you scroll and check MongoDB in the list. And you see MongoDB server is running. That's good. Sometimes technically it may be stopped due to any technical reason, because sometimes other servers may suppress that. It may stop technically sometimes. It may be stopped. In that case, we have to right click and select start. And you can go to the properties and you can keep it automatic. That means whenever the system starts, automatically it will start. It is already running, so there is no problem. MongoDB server is already running. Even not only MongoDB. If you have Oracle, SQL, every server is controlled from here only. If the server is stopped here, that will not work. So you need to come here and check. So the MongoDB server is working. Okay. Now once MongoDB server is working, now we need to connect it to server and check. For that, we need a client tool. Actually, MongoDB client tool is installed in your program files. What you have to do is open the command prompt, cd/. It will come out of all the folders, cd program files. In program files, cd MongoDB. So in MongoDB, you can see there is server. We have to change to server, cd server. In server, you see I have 3 versions of MongoDB in my computer. You will have only one. The latest version is 5. But I have 3 different versions of MongoDB in my machine. So because I have other projects running on other servers, we don't want to disturb that. And what we have to do here is cd server, cd 5.0, cd bin. This is the location you have to come. This entire path I given in the notes. I will upload that notes. You can easily check that. You have to change to this location. Change to location. Or you can do one more thing. If you feel this changing directories a lot of difficulty, you open your computer C drive, go to program files. In program files, MongoDB, in that server, in that 5.0, in that bin. And when that is opened, click in the address bar here and type CMD. It will open that location in command prompt directly. Here, to start the client, we have to run the command. So Mongo is the command that connects with the MongoDB server. We have to just type Mongo and hit enter. It connects with the MongoDB server. And actually you can see So the MongoDB server, it is connecting with the MongoDB server. And you see the MongoDB server, it is connecting to MongoDB server. The server address is this, MongoDB : 127.0.0.1 27010 port number. This is where the MongoDB server is running. MongoDB server is running. That means in order to connect with server and interact with the data present here, we need this connection string. This is very important. Later you will see how to use that connection string and how do we work with the connection string. Later you will see that. So initially, so you see automatically the terminal will come. Terminal is this angle brace. That means this indicates that is Mongo terminal. Here you can run the commands. Here you can run the commands. So we have to learn the commands, how to create database, how to view the existing database. I will tell you the list of commands. Suppose I said show DBS. MongoDB is JavaScript based, so commands also case sensitive. Commands also case sensitive. Capitalization matters. So show DBS is used to display the list of databases. Currently, by default, it is having some databases like admin, config, local, some default databases are present. These will come with MongoDB. How to create our own databases, work with them, we will see. Actually, this is command line. This is the command line. Graphical interface is present. So to close this, exit. So exit, it is terminated. Graphical interface is present. You open here MongoDB Compass. This is MongoDB Compass. It will install this MongoDB Compass for you. In this MongoDB Compass, so it will open the graphical interface here. And in this Compass, so it is asking, paste your connection string and connect. Actually, this default connection string, it will take default connection string, or we have to write the server connection string. What is the server connection string? What is the server connection string? Already you saw MongoDB : /127.0.0.1 27017. It is a standard connection string for every computer. So MongoDB, that is the protocol, and this is the port number 27017, and you say connect, and it will connect. And you see, after connecting, immediately it shows the database. 3 databases are there: admin, config, local. And there are commands like create database. You can just click the buttons. You can define, fill up the form. You can submit. It is created. Those are, I will tell you. This is very easy. You don't need to remember the commands here. Graphically, it's very easy. That means it will take even less than 1 hour to learn database. That means 1 hour is enough to learn database from graphical interface actually. You don't need any commands to remember at all. It's very easy, very fast. But as a developer, we need to know both approaches. How it is done through commands, how it is done through this graphical interface. Suppose, see, keep it aside. Now open the command line tool. I'm opening the command line tool from this location, CMD, okay. And here I have Mongo. It connects. Now here, to see the databases, we have to use show DBS. It will show the list of databases. And you see here directly they are visible. Directly they are visible. Now another point, to create a new database, we have to just use the command. The command is use. Remember, case sensitive, capitalization matters. You have to write in this way. Use database name. Database name. What name you want to give to the database. Suppose I given as shopping DB. The database name as shopping DB. Any name you can give. I just given. Traditionally, databases are given with DB as suffix. That's I given. And remember, case sensitive. Better always use lower cases only. And enter. So switched. That means database is created. But it will not be shown in database list. If I say show DBS, it is not present in that list. So you see here also, I will refresh. You see, it is not there in the list. It's not there. Why? Because this database will be shown in the list only if it contains some data, tables. A database can show only when it contains data. So if there is no data inside it, it doesn't show anything. But observe here, type the command DB. DB is used to see the current database. The current database is shopping DB. That means database is there, but it is not shown in the list. Shown in the list. So before preparing the database, as a developer, what you should know, how we have to prepare the database. What are the points? Those basic things you have to learn. After that, we can create database, we can create tables, and we can work with these commands. That means how data is prepared for a project. For that, actually, you have to understand. So database models, you need to understand database models. In order to prepare database for any project, we have to follow these database models actually. In real-time projects, so we have to design database with the help of these database models. Database models means we have 5 important models. So one is we have conceptual model. Conceptual model. We have physical model. So we have logical model. Logical model. We have entity model. Entity model. This 5th one is entity model is called as entity diagram. So majority 4 are there. So conceptual model, physical model, logical model, and entity model. This is the order actually. After this, the database is prepared. That is the final stage, 5th one. So to create database, first developers have to design all this. Design all this. What is conceptual model? Conceptual model means in this model, we will decide what are the modules, what are the modules that require data, What are the modules that require data? That means in a project, there may be several modules. For example, we are designing a shopping project. So we are designing a shopping project. So we're creating a shopping project. Now for shopping project, we have register, we have login, we have categories. we have products like that. Like we have cart like this. these are modules. Our project have some modules. Now, which module needs data? That we have to decide first. Now, can you tell me, so in this, which module needs data? Which module needs a database to store its data? Which module needs data? What do you say? All the modules. All the modules. No, not all the modules. Actually, registration information must be stored in database. Login information also stored, or login information is used from the registration table. What do you say? You need a table for login also, na? So we don't need to store login data. We need to use the login data. Am I right? Understood the point? That means while registering, what details are entered from the table, we have to verify this. That means login doesn't require data. Categories requires data. Login uses the data, but it doesn't require database tables. We don't need a login table. It will use the information from registration only. While registering, what user ID, passwords you have given, it will use that. Categories, we need to store categories, manage categories. We need to store products, manage products. We need to manage our carts also. That means our cart is nothing but shopping cart, contains some items. We can also have like orders, right? Our orders also can have data, so that we can later see what orders we have given. That means orders from past 1 year, past 6 months, we can see that information also. We can reorder from there also. That means first developers will decide which module needs data. And they will prepare a diagram for all these modules that needs data. That diagram is called as, we call this as conceptual model. Conceptual model. Conceptual model. So the conceptual model looks like this. I will show you. A conceptual model usually looks like this. Some sample project model I will give you. So the conceptual models, where is it? So data models. So some example is there. Let me check that. Yeah, these are the conceptual model. This is the model. You can see this is the conceptual model. A conceptual model looks like this. A conceptual model looks like this. This is the conceptual model. You can see the conceptual model looks like this. This is conceptual model. In conceptual model, it will contain only information about the modules that needs data. Depends on the project requirement. Information about the modules that needs data. Once this is prepared, and our project people, we will have a review team. That review team will review. And they will say that, okay, you can go with this. Because the review team have to verify that you are not missing any module. You are not using any module which is not required. They will check all of this. So it has to verify those details. So for that, actually, this conceptual model need to be prepared first. Once it is ready, after the conceptual model is ready, then we prepare the physical model. In physical model, we will decide the table name, field name, its data type. What should be the table name? What should be the field name? What fields a table should have? What data type they must have? Everything is decided in physical model. In physical model, we are going to design all that. We are going to configure everything. Now again, review team will review this. They will check that we are not missing any field. They will check that we are not adding any extra field. They will check that so there is no wrong data type defined. Everything they will verify. If they say that, okay, your physical model is good, you can start, then next we will prepare. After the physical model, we prepare the logical model. In the logical model, we will identify a relation between tables. Relation between tables means, is this module related to any another module? Does a relationship required or not? That means mobiles are related to electronics, mobiles are related to Samsung, mobiles are related to something else. We need to identify the relationship between the modules. We need to check and identify the modules. Relationship between the modules. Once the relation between the modules is decided, relationship between the modules is verified. That means everything is fine. Again, review team will review. They will check that we are not using any wrong relations. We are not defining any wrong relations. Everything they will verify. Once it is finished, then finally we will prepare the entity model. This is called ER diagram. We will prepare the entity model. In this entity model, we will prepare table name, field name, data types, everything, relationships, everything we will configure inside this. Now, once it is ready, entity is ready. Now for this entity diagram, we prepare the database. So database people will not design the database directly. They don't have any imagination. They have to follow this diagram. They have to follow this model. According to this model, they need to design the database. That means we have to prepare the logical model. We have to prepare the conceptual, physical, logical, and entity. For this entity model, we need to create the diagrams. So for this, we need to prepare the database. Database is designed for this entity diagram, for this entity model. So blindly, we will not design the database. First, we identify the requirements. According to that, we design. These are called database models. So we have so many. So the conceptual model, the physical model, logical model, and entity model. And finally, database. Finally, the database. Now, how we can create these models? I will give you a simple overview. You can try. We will take a simple project, and in that project, I will give you an overview. So you can try that. That means I will give a simple project, and in that project, we will identify the modules. And for that, we need to prepare these models. And then we have to prepare the database accordingly. And we need to use that in our applications. That process I will show you how we can manage that. That we will see in our next session. Okay, tomorrow we will see that. How to create these models and how we can configure the models and design the database according to the models. I will give you a little bit guidance. You have to design rest of things by yourself. Rest of things means diagrams and all you have to draw. I will show you how to do. You have to do it. In the next level, we will discuss about that. Okay, tomorrow we will see.